Something that we've been able to do is to take our some object detection, and for in this case that we're looking at glottic openings, but we'll go to this in a second. Just this is a dry run, just showing this in real time. This next screen, we go into the settings, and I select for an object model here, object detection. So like with this, we trained over 5,000 images. These were stills, training on just glottic openings. We also added things like vocal cords, epiglottis, esophagus, those sorts of things in to show the learner. But for here, I didn't want to overload the model. So we took that, added it to make it a targeting system. So we say targeting in the sense of like directing that individual of how to intubate. So for here, you see, some color-coded things, yellows, greens, yeah, reds, those sorts of things are showcasing to the learner of like, hey, like where should you be in relation to that glottic opening for the highest predictor of success. Now, this is again V1, more of a thing that we're showing in real time. So I want to stress the point, this is not like an edge case. We're not utilizing some very expensive equipment. We're strictly using an iPad Pro, and really harnessing that M1 chip, or M2, I think is actually on this model, because this allows us to do very advanced things without having high-tech stuff. So, this is not via internet. This is all local to the device itself, but we're able to do so with the model that we trained. It's interesting for video laryngoscopy, maybe not so much, of course, for folks that have had experience, but for people that are looking to learn. So with that, in the same vein, I'm going to show you here another thing that we're working on is having the ability to add overlays. So like to put in for a simulation for like blood, spit, vomit. In this example, I picked vomit to obscure that intubation. So as folks, of course, like they're in this space, understand like it's not a very clean environment. Sometimes you can get blood that really impedes your ability to perform that intubation. So the other thing on top of this that gets interesting is like being able to add in the training model in order to get past these obstructions. So like how can one harness that targeting system? Can we train a model that not just uses strict static images? Can we get something in a dynamic environment where you can still get that procedural guidance? Now, for this is an overlay, right? So this is not like illustrating that point, but the next step on that would be to train that model to do so. I think this gets very exciting because this pushes us into that realm of taking low fidelity mannequins, very cheap tech, and outfitting folks with things that would cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, right? So, we look at these high tech mannequins that are great for tissue and things, but a lot of the times that you see for these intubations and for the folks that we train on this platform that we roll out in person, and we talk with the medics. They've maybe done this at a skill station a few times. They've been so accustomed to the supraglottic airways, SGAs, the I-gels, right? That they've kind of lost that ability to perform this procedure. It's a skill set. It can degrade over time. The same as like with marksmanship, with shooting, right? So like if you're not holding that weapon, if you're not doing dry fire exercises, the same thing translates over into any procedure, right? So for this, like it gives you that sort of like dry fire, so to speak, situation, a simulation, right? But being able to build upon that and not have to require for these thousands of dollars of equipment, and then providing feedback to the learner that maybe there's not someone that's there providing that skilled feedback. So very early. This is not for use in humans. I want to like stress that point. This is set for mannequins. It's trained for a specific mannequin. This will, at this point, does not translate out to any mannequin. This is not available to the public, but we are running these tests internally with a couple of partners. So we have some exciting things in the future about this with folks that to make that something that is bespoke to their mannequin itself, to make this more high fidelity. But wanted to share this with you guys. I'm very excited about where we're moving with this.